Today on the topic show, the comment section is accused of deleting comments. California citizens asked Gavin Newsom what is he doing about the fire, and he says that his calls just aren't going through to Biden. LA mayor cut about $17 million from the fire department budget, but had $170,000 for a quote-unquote social justice art project. Scout EV manufacturer wants to make EVs that you can repair, and a children's jewelry is being recalled due to lead contamination. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Guys, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, it does come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have EV manufacturer Scout wants to make EVs that you can actually repair. Kind of. Now, this comes to us thanks to thedrive.com, specifically Brian Hurd, who's a writer over there, in which he says, quote, Scout wants to build EVs you can fix yourself. Scout believes that easily damaged and frequently serviced parts should be screwed, not glued. Which, yeah, that's kind of the bane of existence for most mechanics, is dealing with the replacement of all that stuff and ungluing the crap and gluing it back together. Yet another issue of the government poking their nose in places it shouldn't be, and overregulation, making our lives even more miserable. Because, again, one of the reasons they did this a couple decades ago in terms of introducing a massive use of actual adhesives versus screws, well, was weight savings, because the EPA wants you to get 1 million miles per gallon after, 100 million miles per gallon out of a little engine. And it becomes more and more difficult every year. And for the traditional internal combustion engine, usually every 100 pounds of weight you can take out of the vehicle results in about a 1% increase in fuel economy on average. So why Ford went from making steel F-150s to aluminum ones. They saved about 900 pounds, which adds up in the aggregate, all those savings, got about 9% better fuel economy, which their consumer probably doesn't give a darn because it's a truck, but the EPA does fine your company if you don't have fleet averages for fuel economy, as well as pay emissions. The government, I joke that, I usually say that, car companies don't make cars for you, they make them for the government. Because that's all the mandates they have to deal with. So that's traditionally why more companies have been using adhesives. A little bit lighter weight, and then in terms of cost and complexity, well, adhesives do cost a little bit less. Now, dive in the article that say, quote, if you're sold on electric propulsion has been turned off by cars that have more in common with consumer gadgets than traditional automobiles, Scout Motors is offering a lifeline, an EV, but you can fix it yourself. Take one step further, cribbing from Jeep and Ford. Scout wants to make it so simple to replace body parts you're most likely to ding up, which would, again, be great for the consumer. I think there's an article about the Hummer EV, or was it one of the fanciest Teslas, where just one little bumper or one little fender replacement was like, $30,000? Or it was a comical amount of money. Now, they say, quote, that should be given if you ask us, but in 2025, the basic notion of right to repair is still somewhat a novel concept. And no, that's just not the Tesla thing. Ford, or Ford as some people call it, GM, Honda, Nissan, Stellantis, Subaru, Tesla, Toyota, and Volkswagen, Scout's parent company, have been called out for the attitudinous towards that standard. So what will be different this time around? Well, we sat down with Scout Motors strategy director Ryan Decker at this week's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas to get a feel for the company's approach to building off-road EVs. From what we're hearing, it's much about acknowledgement history and the building for the future. Now, here you can see up close one of those funny looking vehicles here, which, to me, it's almost comical making an off-road EV, considering, well, you're off-road, you're supposed to be in the middle of nowhere. Well, spoiler alert, not a lot of charging stations in the middle of nowhere. A little bit easier, just put some extra gasoline and tanks and throw it in the back, or if you're British, petrol. Now, Decker says, quote, well, the number we put out there was that over 80% of repair orders are capable in fields. That means in the consumer's driveway or literally in the fields. Philosophically, forget the facts, forget what about specific orders. We want to make these vehicles that consumers can touch and take care of. We find inspiration from Scouts past on the front, right? A vehicle, a company that was born from a farm. Farm equipment needs to work long. It needs to be durable. Something breaks, you need to be able to fix it. So does that manifest in a few ways? In pure technology perspective, things can be accessible. Maybe things aren't glued, they're screwed, right? Things can be more easily to repair yourself, which, again, that would be awesome if it's so simple you can just use a good old-fashioned, I was going to say if you feel so inclined, maybe use an old school wooden screwdriver, which I think only myself and 3 people use. But realistically, use a drill and you actually just unscrew or screw the things back on. If it's just like adult Legos, that'd be awesome. You don't have to pay a tech to do it. I mean, who knows how much they want to charge to get these parts to you? We'll find out. They say, quote, the trick is deciding where to draw the line. Fortunately, many of the answers emerge naturally from the design process. The, quote, seamless and fused look common with the new EVs was called out in early iterations of the Scout's design. Decker said, which naturally led to an iteration with discrete bumpers. Decker continues saying, quote, we of course had a couple of different design evolutions. One of the earliest examples of feedback we got, one of the earliest design evolutions was the bumpers look a little too nice, unquote. In a world of high-strength adhesives and gigacast vehicle bodies, fastening components together is decidedly old-fashioned. Single-piece bodies and adhesive bonding make for stronger, more efficient designs, but at the cost of accessibility. The point raised about the aesthetics of the integrated bumper look led to questions of durability and repair. After all, this should one have to remove an entire side panel to fix a dent? No. Decker says it's meant to be used. And you can see a picture of their truck there, which, kind of looks like a bastardized Rivian if you ask me, but I guess some might like that aesthetic. They say to fix or upgrade this, Scout knows as above all the consumer is counting on wants to be able to tinker. They want to be able to touch cars, they want to fix them, they want to accessorize them, they want to occasionally take the front bumper off so they can go bouldering, unquote. Even so, Scout doesn't want its consumers to have to rely on the broader internet to figure things out. Another item in the company's punch list is transparent repair guides and manuals are accessible to the end consumer. But again, what's a modern EV? It's like completely a black box. You can't touch anything, Decker said, unquote. For the time being, Color is optimistic, but the Scout Traveler and Terra EV won't hit showrooms for at least 2 years, maybe even longer. Given the current political climate, things may even change. After all, Scout's initial no ice promises have been revised to, okay, well, maybe a little bit ice. What can we say? Once bitten, twice shy. So, again, this would be really cool from a consumer rights perspective aspect and right to repair. If they can get to be a lot, because again, a lot of components of a vehicle don't need to be too complex. It should be plug and play or just simple adult Legos in terms of repairing it. Now, again, the biggest issue though, still, it's an EV, and overall, it's a glorified smartphone on wheels. So in terms of repairing it, the core engine, or in this case, the motors and the battery, all that's gonna be locked down. You can bet your bottom dollar. So physically, you might be able to fix a couple things on this vehicle, and it'll be cool if you just pop it off and just wrench it right back in. Especially when you compare it to the other manufacturers where they're pretty tight. And remember, when Tesla first came out, they were notorious for never sending any parts out. Like if you wanted to fix it yourself, most famously, Rich Rebuilds on the YouTube talked about how he salvaged like 10 different destroyed Teslas so that he would have spare parts so that he could actually repair the one that he was repairing himself. And even then, Tesla locked him out using software so you can get the supercharging capabilities. It's a whole thing. So if you have a company that's more transparent and more able to give you the right to repair it, it'll be pretty cool. Now, if they really want to hit the ground running, I suggest they actually have a gas engine vehicle. Again, I think a diversified portfolio for most automotive companies makes sense, especially in the U.S., where one of the biggest adoption rates in the U.S. for car sales is hybrids. That seems to be where a lot of the market is moving. Some people arguing it's the best, or I would argue the worst of both worlds. Personally, me, I always want to have 3 pedals and manual transmission, but I know I'm in the minority in that regard. But let me know, do you think this is enough to put Scout on the map, so to say? And they have the backing of Volkswagen, that's a parent company, so they have some, funds behind them. But there's a high rate of failures when it comes to, new EV car companies. Do you think they'll make it? And do you think this could be the differentiating factor that kind of puts them on the map and gets consumers really excited? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Cultural Pod podcast, you have the comments section without Brett Cooper being accused of deleting comments, as less and less people tune in and more people unsubscribe, as they've lost, 430,000 subscribers and about 69% of the views in the past 30 days, specifically for the comment section. Now, again, it was also the Christmas break, and they had some canned videos where they didn't have her daily show, but still, it's not good when you've lost, again, 69% of the views compared to the last previous 30 days. That's pretty abysmal. Not to brag, but I did get 18 people to view one of my videos yesterday. Only 3 people liked it, but nevertheless, people still tuned in. Now, when it comes to YouTube comments, it is really a pain in terms of the YouTube lack of transparency. And YouTube themselves do delete some comments. I noticed this on my video. One of the most ironic things is when I made a video describing how Bud Light was deleting comments on their social media, YouTube overrode my default settings for YouTube comments, in which my default settings are allow all comments. Whether they like me or hate me, you'll see the comments there. Now, on the video where I talked about Bud Light deleting comments, YouTube actually locked my comments down. They disabled all comments. I went in there manually 3 times. And again, within 30 seconds, bam, they lock it down again. And again, it's kind of hilariously ironic. It was a video talking about censorship. Now, YouTube also deleted some comments that are too bombastic. I personally don't, and I respond to every single one, even if I don't agree with them, especially if it's critique. And again, constructive criticism is always appreciated. That's how I want to make the show better and better. Now, another tricky thing YouTube does, not to defend the Daily Wire too much, is they actually won't tell you about comments. Now, in the YouTube creator portal or your little YouTube studio, there is a button and a tab that says show all comments. And that way it's easy for you to have one page where you just respond to all the comments. You don't need to open up individual tabs for every single video you produce. Now, several times I've gone to that page, and again, I apologize, I do, with my work schedule, it takes me sometimes a couple of days to get back to reply to the comments, though, again, I always get back to all of them eventually. Now, the issue there is I'll go to that page, and I'll respond to all comments, and then I'll go back to one of my spicy videos or more quote-unquote controversial videos, and I'll notice that there are comments there. And yet when I go to my comments page, which is supposed to show, and I have it filtered to show all comments I've not responded to, those comments will not show up. So YouTube in general is, well, is about as transparent, as effective as the US government, and it's probably as corrupt as well. But from a creator perspective, it can be difficult to see all the comments, and YouTube does delete some of them. Now, in this case, people are accusing the Daily Wire of actually specifically deleting a lot of the negative comments. And I want to do a quick juxtaposition of 2 videos. The first was the very first video that Reagan came out with, some people calling her Timu Reagan, as she literally just copies pretty much all breast mannerisms, her pontifications, and even the same camera angles, the same background, same desk, same everything. And we'll go ahead and pull that up really quick. Maybe we'll play a 20 seconds of it. Again, this is the very first video of Reagan taking over the comment section and Brett Cooper being pushed out.
Welcome to a new chapter of the comment section, and I am your new host, Reagan Conrad. Now, some of you are probably asking, who is this chick? Where is Brett? What is going on?
Brett's former best friend and bridesmaid who apparently stabbed her in the back and took her job. That's who she is.
And those are all very valid questions. So
I just answered them for you. You're welcome. Now, seriousness, going down the comments. Now, again, this is the most viral video she's made thus far. Got almost 500,000 views and 15,823 comments. Well, who's counting? And many of them, to the Daily's Wire credit in this case, they're pretty much all the comments you would expect. Some bombastic, some roasting her, and 1 or 2 saying that she's, as the youth might say, legit. Now, no cap, which I just learned yesterday thanks to the Urban Dictionary, that actually means a lie. I thought it was a baseball cap, which I don't think I've worn one since college in terms of a baseball cap, but I partially digress. Now, again, this is the first video she made, and here's all the comments. One of the first ones comes from Shoe on Head saying, "This is like when my parents replaced my dead goldfish with another goldfish, and I wouldn't notice." It got 20,000 likes. You have Hunter Valerie saying, quote, "They can't even turn off the comments because the channel would just be the section." In 10,000 likes, and funny, yes. The show is called the comment section. Let's see, Quid Pro says, quote, "I'm not sure about this Reagan girl. She doesn't look like anything like Ben Shapiro," getting 14,000 likes. Which, yeah, the fact that Ben Shapiro never did an episode of the comment section like on April Fool's is such a lost opportunity and a fun gag in and of itself. I can't believe they never did that throughout the years because, yeah, again, half the comments, or a lot of the comments would be making fun or just kind of jovially poking fun at the fact that Brett Cooper did look kind of similar to Ben Shapiro. And they did a couple videos together, but it's never in the Daily Wire studio for her show. I was always disappointed. Like, that just seems like a good pun to do, but I partially digress. You also have Norway My Name says, quote, "The show finally lives up to the name because without Brett, all I'm going to do is look at the comment section and not the video." Gained 13,000 likes. Going down more and more. Casey Grayson says, quote, "But to dispel the rumors, 1, why did Brett unfollow you everywhere and remove all the pictures of you? 2, why did you guys never put a video together or at least have a video where she endorsed you or passed off the torch?" Getting 6.7 thousand likes. Tesla in the Hood says, "When you bring home the side chick and the kids notice it's not their mom." Geez, getting 2.83 thousand likes. Again, I'm surprised Daily Wire is a more conservative company, bringing up things like side chicks and, distasteful things like that. I'm surprised they didn't delete this, even though they do brag about being they brag about, standing for free speech. Sergeant Todd says, quote, "This is like Blue's Clues without Steve," getting 168 likes. James Wiggly says, "Plot twist, Brett's first video on her new channel is going to go through a comment section," which, yeah, it should. It got 6.9 thousand likes. Let's see. Any more? I don't see any contrarian statements. Let's see. I'm Colorful says, "This is how I felt when Steve from Blue's Clues went to college," getting 5.8 thousand likes. Gavin Pradio says, "They really underestimated how much people watched and liked the show for Brett," getting 3,000 likes. Wayne Payne says, "Imagine they replaced Matt Walsh with a guy that had the same voice and mannerisms as Matt," getting 3.8 thousand likes, which, again, to this girl's, morally, it seems like she stabbed her friend in the back. Now, in terms of aesthetics for the actual show, I think anyone who's just trying to replace a show and act like the previous host, no matter what show it is, I don't think it'll ever be as successful as the original. I think most of the comments will kind of just be like people wanting the old, they want what was the old show, because again, it's not really unique. Now, going to one of the more recent videos where she's talking about Mark Zuckerberg, or what is this? And, about 33,000 views and 1,000 likes, which, again, she's, I want to say, hovering around maybe 100,000, averaging maybe 100,000 views per video. Pulling up her screen here really quick here, or pulling up her main YouTube channel. Let's see here. And she's getting let's see here. Go to videos. Getting 300,000. No, 30,000, 44,000, 97,000, 87,000, 79,000. Which, again, for me, that'd be great. That's a lot of views. But for her, it looks like she's only broken 100,000 views a couple times since her main introductory video. And her last ones are getting between 70, 60, 40,000. They're dropping precipitously. Now, part of that, Brett Cooper is getting between 500,000 and 1 million. A lot better. Now, the latest video is when people start to bring up the point of controversy saying, are you deleting comments? Which, again, YouTube, the Daily Wire definitely has that ability. Now, one of the first comments comes from Jenny Brower saying, quote, "And the censorship begins. Deleting the comments isn't cool, Daily Wire. Just admit you're doing wrong by trying to clone Brett." Got 137 likes. J1763 says, "The irony of having a show called The Comment Section, but y'all deleted my first comment," getting 176 likes. Going down more and more. You have Ernie say, quote, "Suspicious how different these comments are in just a day. Edit, I also think it's obvious that not bringing much into the financial aspect of the comment section, since Brett's videos are still up. Honestly, I hope Raven starts her own show on Daily Wire because this doesn't go forgotten." It got 258 likes, which, yeah, again, if they're only getting 30 to 40 to 60,000 views per video, they have to be losing money right now. Because, again, it's not just, Reagan has a salary, which I'm sure is probably a couple $1 million for this type of show. She has a salary, but, think of all the people that support her behind the scenes. You got an editor, you have a writer, producer, you have makeup artist, and then you have about 230 to 250 employees that work at the corporate headquarters of the Daily Wire. It's a huge company valued at $1 billion. And in terms of the talent, in terms of, how they make content, they have about maybe 4 to 7 personalities or 4 to 7 individual hosts of shows. If you include the people who are kind of affiliated with them, but don't really have I don't know how to classify Jordan Peterson, where he's not a Daily Wire employee, he's kind of a licensing agreement. But yeah, with so much writing on the back of these talents, in terms of these folks need to be getting much more views. Now, again, they do make money from the subscription from dailywire.com. They're not 100% reliant on the YouTube ad revenue, but still, I don't think they're making a profit right now with the comment section. You have Bluegrass saying they're just ignoring us or hoping we forget, and we won't, getting 265 likes. Jackson Philosophy says, quote, "Are they still pumping out these videos for the next couple of years and just hoping eventually we forget about this? Because it seems like that's exactly their strategy, since we're not going to ignore and even remove comments," getting 109 likes. Alex says, quote, "Something isn't right here. The comments are so different than the video and all the others," getting 253 likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. Colossum Craft says, "Deleting comments aren't going to bring back views," getting 378 likes. Let's see. This is a really long name. Cyberhunder Basins, gotta be German, says, "Wow, the Reagan support bots are disappointing, almost deleting all the comments," getting 145 likes. Rizma says, "Where's the traditional comment? I'm just here for the comments," getting 177 likes. Razor Blade says, so y'all deleting comments now, huh? Shake my head. Or SMH. Yeah, thanks to the Urban Dictionary, I know what that means now. Got 93 likes. Beth Joy says, the way the comments are flipped is crazy. The views are just, the views and likes speak for themselves, getting 67 likes. Which, yeah, again, she got 1.9 thousand likes, which, again, for my video, that'd be great. That'd be more than, that's more likes than I get views from most of my videos on average. But again, for her, 34,000 views, that's a pretty rough ratio. Now scrolling down more and more, trying to find, because again, there are a couple of positive comments that are brewing to the surface. You just have to squint for them a little more. Let's see here. Mr. Falcon says, quote, LOL, you still choose to ignore the glaring problem and now delete comments, LMFAO. You ain't ever going to replace Brett. Which is grammatically speaking double negative, which technically means they will replace Brett. But he still got 25 likes. Let's see here. Scroll down more and more. Let's see. Neutral commenter? They better have a neutral comment, otherwise I'm really disappointed with their advertising of their name. Says, quote, looks like Daily Wire is getting people to post positive comments. Interesting, all of the positive comments are one sentence and includes praises for Reagan, but no discussion of the topic. Getting 40 likes, which, yeah, that makes me pretty skeptical if it's something that's rudimentary, just you could just copy paste that comment to every video on the planet and actually addressing the substance of that. That's where I get a little suspicious myself. Yeah, Zamora saying, where's the habitual click on video, pause the video, and read the comments? Got 101 likes, which prior to this, that's probably one of the most popular comments on the Reagan videos. And they would get hundreds of likes for that one comment just saying, click video, click pause, read comments. Which, in terms of the retention rate, in terms of, how many people watch the video all the way through, I can't help but think that especially since Reagan took over, that number probably cut in half or more. Let's see here. Pessimatic says, let's get it down to 3 million subscribers by the end of January. Team Brett all the way, getting 143 likes. Let's see here. Honey Bunny 1 of 23 says, I'm now just here to read the comments only, getting 53 likes. I'm trying to see. James says, Daily Wire bots are at work, getting 70 likes. Now, you've only had 2 or 3 of the people saying, like, they deleted my comment specifically. Now, again, the real question is that YouTube? Or is that Daily Wire directly? Let's see here. And where are the positive comments that they're talking about? James says, is the comment section officially dead, getting 79 likes. Hendrick says, 15 hours, 20,000 views. Keep it up, Snake. Getting 10 likes. I can't, but is that technically a positive comment? I mean, for a Daily Wire video, that's terrible metrics. Again, these creators get, hundreds of thousands to millions of views per video. 20,000 in 15 hours for their company. I mean, that's not a great metric. I wouldn't, and it's not really worthy of praise or accolades, I wouldn't think. Let's see here. Laura Forrest says, why y'all deleted comments? This channel cannot survive without them. It's the only reason people watch now. Getting 11 likes, and yeah. Joe Pan says, delete the comments too. You're still failing, getting 12 likes. Let's see. I'm trying to find some of those praises. Chrono Trigger says, simple man, I click pause and dislike, then I scroll down, getting 53 likes. Let's see. Where are the positive comments they keep talking about? I thought they were there too. Did they delete the bots? Let's see. Excuse me. Let's see. All right, hey, we do have a... Wow, so we had to scroll for what seems like an eternity, because I'm talking, it might feel like an eternity, but in all seriousness, we had to scroll a while. We finally found a comment where Reagan actually liked, which again, not to brag about my show, but if you leave a comment, more often than not, I do like it. Actually, then you can see the cool little heart thing there. Yet another reason to like, subscribe, and funny third thing to my channel. I may even like your comment. Statistically speaking, I probably will. Even if it's, negative, as long as it's constructive criticism, I even like those. Perhaps I'm too generous with my likes. But in all seriousness, if you take the time to like, subscribe, comment, greatly appreciate it. Now, Russell Dewitt says, quote, I, accused of being bot, have been recognized by a human, getting 121 likes, and I was about to say Brett Cooper. I was going to say, it's just the default when I think of the comment section, but you have to remember, this is Reagan, also known as Timu Brett Cooper, and she actually did heart that. Now, I wonder if she responded to it. No, but she did like it. We found one positive comment. They exist, apparently. Mr. from Russell DeWitt, apparently. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, looks like a legit YouTube profile. This person's been on the YouTube for 12 years. They've made multiple comments. Yeah, all right. Seems like it is a legit human, apparently. Let's see. Deep Production says, bot for Reagan, don't let the bastards get you down. You're doing a good job. Which, this person is probably human because they're making fun of the fact that they're a bot. Or is that just what a robot would do all along? Maybe. But, yeah, is this serious to see? I mean, again, prior to this video, most of the comments were critiquing her, talking about how she betrayed her friend, how she's trying to copy her friend's mannerisms, both in hand gestures as well as her speech patterns. But not a lot of people were calling out Daily Wire and accusing them of deleting comments. And here we see most of the comments that are negative about the show. Well, most comments in general are negative, but most of them are accusing them of deleting them. And again, well, let me know in the comments if you think, is YouTube deleting these comments? Is the Daily Wire themselves deleting these comments? Or is everyone just accusing them and they're not being deleted at all? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part podcast, you have a California citizen asking Gavin Newsom what he will do, and he claims that, well, my calls just are going through, which is perhaps the most rudimentary, pathetic excuse I've heard, and yeah, I definitely don't, I'm not buying that. Now, this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness, which she says, quote, this clip may be the final nail in the failed career of Governor Gavin Newsom. Mark my words. This is brought to us thanks to SkyNews.com, as they're covering the California wildfires.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school.
Do you have a second to talk? No.
Governor, please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I
can't.
don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through.
Really? It's not going through. Now, for civilians, I would believe that 110%. When there's a lot of tragedies, the cell networks are usually overwhelmed by people demand, and they usually crash. An average consumer, yeah, I would completely agree. You probably will not be able to you will not successfully be able to make phone calls. However, for things like the defense industry, the public sector, and certain government officials, most of them don't use the same cell network. Most of them have workarounds. Most of them have dedicated emergency lines. So I almost wonder if Gavin Newsom is lying here, because, again, even if you're just a defense contractor in IT, you get a special number to call in case of emergencies, so they can reserve that bandwidth, or that they basically reserve that usage for you in cases just like this, where you do need to make emergency calls. And in theory, leaders are supposed to make exceptionally good decisions to save the most amount of lives and do good. I don't think Gavin Newsom is capable of that, but from a technological perspective, he's saying, oh yeah, the calls aren't going through. So does that mean he's using just his regular cell phone that's on the same on the same cell towers and using the same infrastructure as everyone else? I can't help but not. I mean, especially with the cyber. Just the cyber risk alone. I'm sure he has a government issued device and a government dedicated device that's a little more secure than what we use. And yeah, he's saying, oh yeah, the calls just won't go through. Oh, okay, let's say that's true. Maybe use something else like an email, or maybe a different app that uses, internet data versus cellular data. Maybe get off your key. I mean, use a landline. You get I almost don't believe him, but they're also so mismanaged in such a rudimentary state. Some might argue almost its own country of ineptitudes. Maybe he's telling the truth, and they just literally don't have their shit together. It is interesting that the gal talking to him has a fancy mask on when she's outside in a wildfire, maybe to protect from the smoke that we don't see.
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now, and it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
Maybe he'll hire some qualified firefighters to remember, and then maybe he'll remember that you need water to fight fires. Maybe he'll remember to actually clean the forest so it's not overwhelmed with debris that's highly flammable. I mean, probably not. He's been doing basically jack crap nothing for years. But maybe he has a very articulate, meaningful response, and he'll give us a great reason in a second. He'll justify his whole career with one brilliant move. I mean, probably not, but let's hear.
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
It has to be. No, they'll still vote for him. Vote blue no matter who. Again, never forget, 70+ million people voted for Kamala Harris, who had like three. Her campaign was hope, love, and joy, emotional rhetoric out the wazoo, Trump man bad. And she had like 3 ideas or proposals, most of them, and they were all terrible.
To fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally, you know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I don't think she knows how that
But
works.
would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd
are
like
safe.
to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
Just your average Californian. Again, you voted for this. It blows my mind, but they vote for the same people and the same policies time and time again. I'm not sure what it will take, if anything, for them to vote differently and fix stuff over there. I mean, I'm not even bringing up the vast ineptitudes in terms of driving away businesses and people from an economic and political perspective as they alienate more and more folks. But yeah, chief ineptitudes might be a good job title, or an appropriate job title or description of Gavin Newsom. Now, this is pretty wild. Got 6.1 million views and 102,000 likes. One of the first comments comes from Paul Zupa saying, quote, Newsom should really resign now. The many clips from the wildfires will begin to be used against him for 2028 election. He won't stand a chance getting 1.9 thousand likes, which, no, I think he will. He's a Democrat in California. I mean, he's been voted in multiple times. I mean, the whole mantra is vote blue no matter who. Scrolling down more and more. Yeah, Wall Street Maverick saying, quote, that's what they're good at, getting 262 likes. Let's see, any contrarian comments here? The Trump Magnus Glorious says, quote, he went from, I'm literally on the phone with the president to, I can't get a hold of him in the span of 10 seconds. Total clown show right now in California, getting 3.4 thousand likes. Was it Mr. Common Sense? Says, Cooper, what in the situation with water, house size ran out last night? Oh, is this him saying you just got to find your own damn water?
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily.
As he has a house burning to the ground behind him. Interestingly enough, I'm surprised it's a CNN camera and he had a logo there. I'm surprised the nomenclature of the title doesn't say mostly peaceful forest fires. Got 427 likes. Mel Weber says, here are 100 reasons to recall Gavin Newsom. It's a little video compilation that's, geez Louise, 13 minutes long, getting 125 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Dave says, yup, it's a cartoon. It has Biden saying, as much as they need, and it's a spraying a money hose to foreign aid. They have the mayor of LA saying, endless funding. It's a DEI rainbow coming from the fire hydrant. Then you have the firefighter, or the fireman, trying to shoot, and there's no water left. Getting 120 likes, which, yeah, the resource allocation of California and the U.S. government is fascinatingly pretty much going to every country and people besides taxpayers. Placid Egos has a picture of Gavin Newsom looking creepier than usual, which is saying something. Says, good morning, peasants, getting 279 likes. 30 Pill Meme says Newsom's career should be over after this. And it's Gavin Newsom sitting in the This Is Fine meme, getting 1.5 thousand likes. Scrolling down more and more. Cynical Public says $100 says she voted for him and the mayor. Yep, getting 3.4 thousand likes. And again, should probably vote for him again. Let's see here. True American Spirit has a picture of a bald eagle saying, quote, we are no longer accepting that things cannot change. It's time to change the things we cannot accept, getting 336 likes. Just have Perry Fine say, quote, You seriously underestimate the depravity of the left. They'll continue to vote for him because they believe this was Trump's fault, and the Republicans for not endorsing billions in climate change bills, getting 641 likes. Yep. Let's see here. So not too many contrarian statements. And again, we'll see if this has any political ramifications on Gavin Newsom's career, if he actually gets voted out someday, or California just keeps embracing him time and time again. But yeah, it's one of those instances where, I mean, I can't think of anyone that's more unprepared for a situation than him in the state over there right now. And how he doesn't have an emergency, like a satellite phone or emergency phone for these situations is beyond me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news: you have the Los Angeles mayor cutting $17 million from the fire department fund, but they did have $170,000 for a quote-unquote social justice art, which maybe that's more of the murals that they paint on the streets for cars to run over, which, again, I'll never understand why they waste tax dollars putting murals of crap on the street where there's, especially in Democrat cities, going to be a special disproportionate amount of trash on the ground, as well as, just the standard rain, sleet, and tire tracks. But yeah, let's spend taxpayer money painting crap on the ground. Ridiculous. Now, this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness, in which she says, quote, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass cut over $17 million from the Los Angeles Fire Department budget, but made sure to allocate $170,000 for social justice art and $100,000 for transgender cafes, which I don't understand why they need their own cafes. Usually just call them Starbucks. I mean, there's no reason they need a specific cafe, but if there was one, I mean, I guess it'd probably be Starbucks. But in all seriousness, why do they need a specific instance for that? And why is the government or taxpayer dollars going towards that? I mean, there's this beautiful thing. I know, leftists don't believe in it, but there's a beautiful thing called the private sector that will provide. Again, even if there's a niche need, company will come out, facilitate that need and be successful. And yet they're saying, oh no, the government should pay for this. So yeah, let's pull this up really quick here. So they've got an art division, $10,000. Angelica Center for the Arts, $10,000. Community Partners, Justice for My Sister, $10,000. Ebony Repertory Theater, $10,000. Neighborhood Music School, $10,000. What's this? Urban Voices Project, $10,000. Hai Chia's Central Cultural, $10,000. Takio Project, $10,000. Street Poets. What? Street Poets, $10,000. No Easy Props, AW Service, $10,000. And these are all adding up to, again, subtotal social justice art worker investment. Well, it's hilarious that they call it an investment because unlike a real investment that can go up and down, usually up, hopefully, like stocks or bonds or, 401k, well, this quote-unquote investment is $170,000, and yet they're not going to get any money back from this. It's not an investment. It's a ridiculous usage of the word. Now, they also have another screen or a little screenshot here where it says, quote, city planning, and they say, quote, human and human rights equity, midnight stroll transgender cafe. Funding is provided to support a safe haven for unsheltered, aka homeless, transgender individuals in Hollywood between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. Which, you can talk about and a waste of money too. If they're homeless, why not, again, I'm not a fan of the public sector doing anything because I don't really see them doing anything effectively or efficiently. But yeah, they're actually going to start strolling out a cafe as opposed to, well, what about like a homeless shelter? Like that would actually temporarily help them get back on their feet and they can have somewhere to sleep. But no, I don't know if they're going to sleep in the cafe, but that's what they're saying here. That's going to be, $100,000 for a cafe. Which again seems like a ridiculous waste of money, though that can be said about pretty much anything they do in California. All while they cut $17 million from the fire department. It's a good thing they don't need them. Oh, wait. Yeah, yet another ineptitude to California with terrible mismanagement of funds and resource allocation. They seem to always make the wrong call. Now, this went pretty viral, about 300,000 views and 5,000 likes. One of the top ones coming from Bruce X saying, quote, this is what happens when you hire someone based on race, gender, or sexuality. Getting 107 likes. There's TikTok did respond saying DEI is cancer, getting 151 likes. Paul Zazupa says, quote, money is fungible. She took from the LAFD and gave to wokeness, getting 42 likes. I also have the Libercat Media TM, and it's a screenshot of the LA mayor, and it says, LA police tragic time in history, says California wildfires. And she just looks disappointed and says, damn, they probably gonna vote me out, getting 40 likes, which I don't think, I mean, call me crazy, but I don't think they will. This is California. They vote blue no matter who. Maybe a Democrat will primary her or challenge her. That might be possible, but like, yeah, I don't think it's going to turn red overnight. They're going to vote for someone else that's of a different political ideology. Rambo Rants says, my God, give me strength, safety, and comfort for all those in California. There's a video compilation of all the fires spreading throughout the state, which is devastating. Getting 28 likes. Let's see here. Ethan Keller says, quote, in 2010, LA spent $600,000 on taking care of illegal immigrant children. They spent an additional $1.05 billion on public safety, aka jail costs, and healthcare for illegal immigrants, getting 21 likes, which is a pretty penny. See here. Scroll down more and more. House of Trad says, hi, I think she's going for worst mayor. Interesting grammar choice. And it's the Pawn Star meme. It says, California, help! Save us from wildfires. And Rick from Pawn Star says, best we can do is lesbianism. Getting 9 likes, which is a stab at or joke at or poke at the fact that, well, the LAFD, the fire department chief and all the majors there are lesbians. And they also are paying the one gal, the DEI department at the fire department, $399,000, which is a disgusting use of public funds and taxpayer dollars. Like, basically $400,000 plus probably benefits for a DEI department at a fire department. Yeah. I don't know why people still live there. It's beyond me. I always hear the cliche, oh, the weather's great. Is it worth losing most of your rights and most of your income to taxes? Is it really? I don't think so, personally. House of Trad says, still blaming Trump. This picture of, was it Josh or the other funny guy from the Disney show? It says, Democrats deciding who's at fault for the LA fires. And it's he has purple hair. It says Trump, get 2 likes, which, yep, they're blaming Trump and capitalism, because of course they are. BR21 says, I can smell the transgender cafe in Florida, getting 48 likes. Nick says, Karen Bass is unqualified. There's a picture of her in front of the burning city, getting 9 likes. I mean, she's as qualified as any leftist, I would argue. Portland says, DEA policies are costing people their homes and lives, getting 4 likes. Mama Bear says she doesn't need to resign. She needs to be immediately fired, getting 5 likes. Let's see. Anyone sticking up for her? Nah, not so much yet. Hey, Park says, the more you hear, the more you see how utterly incompetent LA far-left liberals are, getting 5 likes. Again, Gavin Newsom also lost $25 billion trying to quote-unquote combat homelessness. They apparently spent $25 billion, don't know where it went, and what good it did. $25 billion. Yeah, that's California. And, yeah, let's see here. A lot of people having pictures of the LA Police Department, the LA Fire Department, LA Mayor, and how they look funny in the pictures, which, I don't have much ground to stand on in terms of looking unphotogenic or looking awkward in pictures, because, well, that's a disproportionate amount of the video time of the show is just take screenshots as mostly unappealing pictures of me. But, yeah, we'll see if maybe she doesn't win the re-election, or I doubt that she actually gets, primaried or anything like that. But, yeah, a lot of people critiquing the leadership in Los Angeles, and it'll be interesting to see. And again, hopefully hopefully they get the fire put out and all the individuals are safe. But yeah, there's an unprecedented amount of critique in the DEI and resource allocation. And again, cutting $17 million on the fire department, then you're spending $170,000 on social justice art and $100,000 cafe. Like, and again, the private sector prevails overwhelmingly. Like, if there's a cafe need at that time, like an all-night cafe, they would come out with that. I mean, shoot, I wish Walmart was open 24/7 like they used to be back in the day. Maybe a competitor like, I don't know, Target or Kroger will do that, but if the market demands it, it'll get there. But interesting that LA continues to burn and how they spend their money, and maybe she will be primaried, maybe she'll be recalled. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have children's jewelry being recalled due to lead and heavy metal poisoning, which yep, big recall for Yamiao children's jewelry. Now, this comes to us thanks to United States Consumer Safety Product Commission, in which they say, quote, Yamiao, I think I'm pronouncing that right, is Y-A-O-M-I-A-O. So it says, Yamiao children's jewelry sets recalled due to risk of lead and cadmium poisoning, violates the federal lead content ban and Federal Hazardous Substance Act sold exclusively at Amazon. Starting to see a theme on this show with more and more things at Amazon killing us or putting us at great risk. It was sold by Lord Rhodes, which, yeah, I don't know, that's a very unusual name. It's not a road accessory, it's for you. But I suppose in terms of the quality and how cheap this jewelry looks, it belongs to be thrown onto the road in a Publix, I suppose. Now, again, this is manufactured by Yamiao Children's Jewelry. And let's see here. Diving into the article, and I mean, not only is it a business blunder in terms of, oh, yes, it's bad for the kids, also aesthetically looking, they look like trash, something you'd find at a mall. I think Claire's is still around. That used to be a thing when I was a kid walking down the malls back in my day. It looks like the jewelry is a necklace and earrings of a, what is it, metal. So the metal part is like a pony, and it has some fake-looking diamonds. And ironically, one of them says you are magical. Oh, I mean, containing lead or being poisonous is not so much as magical. It should say you are sick or at risk of being sick to be more accurate. Now, they say, quote, this recall involves 3 Yamiao branded children's jewelry sets. The sets have been between 3 and 12 pieces of jewelry each. Jewelry is, again, it's definitely not, they delineate, it is silver colored. Yeah, it's not real silver. With multicolored gems shaped as unicorn, a butterfly, a heart, a turtle, a star, or rainbow with a cloud. Each set comes packaged individually with small plastic bags inside a lavender box. And it's named, quote, a special gift for you, for the charming you, printed on them. They note that Yamiao appears on the box's plastic wrap. They say that the remedy is consumers should immediately stop using the recalled jewelry sets, take them away from children, and contact Lord Rhodes for a full refund. Consumers will be asked to dispose of the recalled jewelry sets and send a photo of the disposed sets to, again, this is a pretty expensive domain. I'm not sure how these companies in China are getting them. Perhaps, and yeah, it's a lot of buying power, but it's Simple Road PLE at 163.com. And usually the shorter the domain, the greater the value, since again, there's less, less of them around. Now, again, it's actually, no, it's, I butchered it. It's not even that. It's even more awkward. So it's called Sim Lord Road PLE. So SIMPLORDROADPLE at 163.com. They note that Lord Rhodes and Amazon are contacting all known purchasers directly. Now, in the silver lining of the situation is, thankfully, they note that no incidents have been reported. Now, that being said, lead contamination and a lot of these things are long-term problems. So I still suggest if you had any contact with this, have your kid have a baseline health assessment set so that if there's any negative long-term health benefit, or sorry, not benefits, negative health issues, you have more of a ground to stand on in terms of justifying a lawsuit against this company. And now they have been around too long. They know that Amazon sold this jewelry from January 2022 through March 2024 for between $8 and $21, depending on the set. Now, I was going to say the retailer is a really good Scrabble word. Well, you can't use names in Scrabble, so not really, but the retailer is Wuhanao Indian Zaiki Jiaxonghuai, doing business as Lord Rhodes of China. So the legal name is WUHANNUOYUNXINDIANZIKEJIYOUXIANGONGSI, which, yeah, there's a reason that they're, that's a long business name. I'm trying to write that down every day. No thanks. Now, the recall number is 25-082. Again, 25-082. Looks like the remedy is, send it in. They'll give you a refund. But yeah, especially be careful when you're buying anything for kids, not just food, but you're buying any types of this cheap fashion crap where, again, this kind of jewelry that's just trash. I'll probably wear it for a day or two and throw it in the trash bin, or if you're British, the dustbin. And again, it just looks like the cheap, crappy Walmart, or, well, I know Walmart has some nice things, but, cheap Claire's or mall or Walmart jewelry that, again, you're never going to realistically hang on to. Now, the sad thing is you need to especially be careful because I guess the average teenager probably won't hold on to it, but if it's a kid with sentimental value, maybe they want to hold on to this and cherish it for years, their whole life, especially if it's like a gift from someone. So you need to be especially careful when you're looking at, especially any jewelry that your kids are touching these days, because again, it's something where it can be, skin contact for maybe most of the day, and heaven forbid they, ingest it or anything like that, where again, lead contamination would be even worse from them. So again, silver lining situation, no negative reports have been noted in terms of no one's passed away from this or had any serious negative, health outcomes. But again, this is time and time again, we're seeing more and more of these recalls from Amazon.com. I mean, I'm pretty sure the bar or the entry, kind of the entry level bar to get in there is just having a pulse. It turns out becoming a retailer or a reseller at Amazon.com. As we see more and more of these companies getting recalled. And again, this is, I would say, the business blunder is mostly on Amazon because, again, these companies in China, I mean, if this is so bad that they go out of business, they'll just spin up a new legal entity in China in like, what, 2 minutes? And it's going to be the same rudimentary, crappy building in polluted area. I mean, Amazon is the big logo that people are going to go after when it comes to lawsuits and when it comes to, negative impact and negative viewership. Like, I don't think anyone who bought this says, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of, what's this? Wuhan Nai Indian Jusao Gungzai or Lord Rhodes. No one knows who the hell made this. If you're buying this on Amazon, I guarantee you no one's a fan of, I'm a big fan of Lord Rhodes, which actually just sounds like a crappy band name. But in all seriousness, the blowback is going to be on Amazon. That's the big logo. That's what everyone's going to think. That's what everyone is going to associate with this particular type of sale, this product. So I got to say, not only just this is business blunder on this manufacturer in China, but I'd say the big one is actually Amazon and not having more strict actually standards for what they carry as they have more and more recalls. So I gotta say Amazon, this jewelry incident is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in again. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.